is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, November 8th from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast all about home automation, home technology, all sorts of fun stuff this week. Well, guys, there's something really awful that's happened here in America this week. And this was over in our hub, courtesy of Owen. Oh my God, this is the worst TV hang I've ever seen in my life. I do not know what's happened here. So it's just wrong. Like every this feels like it was generated by AI just to be wrong. All right, so I'm gonna try and describe. I don't even know if I can describe this. I think this is just something you're gonna have to go look at and suffer just like the rest of us did. But I'm gonna start from the top. It's a vaulted ceiling, right? So it's in the middle, like it's got a pitch in the middle. There's actually like two of these lights like hanging down, so there's lighting in here. On the left-hand side there's a fireplace in the middle, brick fireplace. That's not in the center. It's offset to the right. And then there is the actual fireplace at the very bottom of that, offset again to the right. So there's like 2 feet on one side and maybe 6 inches on the other side. And then the mantle is centered over the fireplace, but that again is not centered over like the brick part. So there's like a foot of extra brick on the left-hand side. There's a TV that's mounted too high on an articulating mount on the left-hand side for some random reason. And a desk below that, I guess you could sit there and bump your head into the TV. It's just amazing. I don't know. And I guess the fireplace looks to be one of those electronic fireplaces because you can see the cord draped across the floor because clearly there's no power or thought that was ever put into any part of this. Amazing. Simply amazing.
I don't understand either. I'm not that old, so pardon me if I'm wrong on this. But on the right hand side, it looks like there's like a magazine rack. Is that a magazine rack?
It does look like a magazine. Yeah, I think so.
Who has a magazine rack just hanging next to their fireplace? This is awful.
You got to display your magazines.
I don't like it.
Gavin, this didn't come from your house, did it?
No, but this is the type of do-it-yourself home job that somebody did, and they probably had a divorce after it was complete.
You just need to tear this down and start over. There's no fixing
no
this.
saving it, yeah.
Well, this is why we can't have nice things in America.
Yeah. And it's like they just kept going. It's like, it's like they put in the fireplace and they're like, well, we need a mantle. Well, the best we could do is this. And it's like, but the TV now won't fit above the mantle. So they're like, just put it off to the side. All right, done, Which,
to be fair, is the only correct thing about this photo is the TV is not above the fireplace. So A+ in that regard, D- on everything else.
I can't believe you're giving that an A+, but okay.
Hey, look, TVs above fireplaces are awful. They don't have much room above the fireplace anyway. Had to do what you had to do. It's better than the TV being too high.
I like that it's on an articulating mount and it's pulled out and then nudged like facing to the left. Clearly there's a bigger room off to the left because you can see the ceiling lights and maybe there's a kitchen or something over there. I don't know. But I can't even.
Fantastic.
The cat beds on the top though are the added touch,
Oh yeah. I guess they could go up there and sleep. I don't know what you would have up there. I'm surprised there's not like
that's for a nativity set during Christmas.
Yeah, nativity set, exactly. Man. Well, magazine rack, check. TV's hung, check. Mantle is on there. I mean, it ticks off all the boxes, I guess. Project is done. Good job. Wow. What's the little cubby like below the magazine rack for? What do you think they put there? Like a subwoofer?
You think they were really thinking ahead to a subwoofer with this?
That's where they put the firewood, obviously. It has carpet, but
for the electric fireplace?
Yeah, the electric firewood.
I'm so confused. And the desk isn't even like big enough to sit at. There's a full file cabinet at the desk, but like,
yeah, who's sitting there?
They had to angle the file cabinet.
Well, that used to be for the phone. That was the calling station. So
the calling station. I guess
makes sense.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense here. Nothing makes sense anymore.
I don't like it.
Okay, well,
don't show us that again, Owen. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Owen. Anyway, you can visit our hub chat thing there. If you become a sponsor, we'll tell you how to do that later in the show. Like you can sponsor HomeTech for as little as $1. So $1 a month. HomeTech.fm/support. We'll go over that later though. But right now, I'm sure we've got a couple of HomeTech headlines that have happened between this week and last week. So guys, what do you say we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, turns out Amazon's ambitious plans to upgrade its Alexa voice assistant with new AI capabilities I guess they're getting delayed until 2025, according to an article over at Bloomberg. Initially announced last September, the new Alexa was expected to offer a more natural conversation interactions. However, reports indicate the beta version has been unimpressive, with responses being slow, stiff, and often inaccurate. I saw one of these things here is like, you ask it to turn on your lights, it just doesn't do it. You can't even do that. So I think you may need to go back to the drawing board on this.
It's too sentient, guys. We need a voice assistant that isn't so sentient.
I feel like this is like the current state of all AI, right? Like everybody had to, like every public company had to put something about AI on their own, like facing forward. And this is the fallout from it. It's like, whoops, this isn't really what we thought it was going to be. And it doesn't work. Oh no.
I feel like everybody thinks they can build their own AI just overnight like that too and build something good. I don't know why, like I would have been happy if Amazon just licensed ChatGPT and built that in to handle certain things, a little better. Kind of like what Microsoft does with Copilot. Even though it's not full ChatGPT, they have their own flair to it. But, that would have accelerated, their plans a bit. I don't know why they just didn't do that instead of make their own from scratch. And now they're delayed. Even Apple. So even on the iPhone, I've been playing around with the AI on the iPhone, and that it's more annoying than anything.
Oh my gosh.
Point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my notifications, I read them sometimes and I'm more confused than, like if I just opened all the notifications.
I legitimately had to turn mine off within 12 hours of turning it on because I was like, what are you even trying to tell me right now? Your summaries are worse than the actual message.
Yeah. And their summaries leave out important details on some of the notifications, right? Like, so I don't know what these companies, I think they think it's easy with the AI, and I don't think they're doing it right. It's going to just ruin AI for all of us. We're just all going to get a bad taste for AI in the end.
Well, everybody knows that new technology is super easy to implement and nobody ever has problems with it. So
exactly. Yeah. Especially when it's in a beta test format. I will say, okay, so programmers have been using AI, this very specific AI thing for 2-3 years now. Before the old, the Chat GPT stuff came out, we had this thing that was doing this fancy autocomplete stuff on our code when we were writing code. And everybody was kind of, it's called Microsoft Copilot, is what they were billing it as, and or GitHub Copilot, I think. And then Microsoft kind of took that and ran with it, I think, at the time. But anyway, that's we've been using that for a long time. And I got to say, what does work is when they get the tooling, like these language models and everything. They're making those up, and it costs millions, if not millions on millions of dollars to develop those and compile those and make them. But once they're made, then you will start working on the tooling over the top. And that's what Alexa's trying to do. That's what Apple's trying to do. They're not doing anything revolutionary. They have the language models exist. That's the cat's out of the bag there. But when you start putting the stuff on top of them, the tooling, how we interact, ChatGPT that's a tool. That's how we interact with that language model, right? I gotta say, the coding side of stuff is getting way more impressive. Every single day, something cool comes out, and it actually works. The hype that everybody thought about AI that you guys are talking about, I agree. That hype should not exist. It's stupid, but it's all consumer facing. But the hype actually does exist on the coding side of things. There's some really impressive things that they're doing, and I think it fundamentally is going to change how people end up coding. I'm not hitting tab to complete everything just yet, but it's getting pretty damn close, and it's pretty impressive as to how much it can guess as to what you want to do, and then just fill out the rest of the form. And it takes a lot of work off the table for me.
I totally agree with you there, because I've been using ChatGPT a lot with coding and just doing simple things like, when you have to repeat certain text over and over again instead of you copy paste and then change a number all the time. I would just feed it into ChatGPT and say, repeat this 10 times and increment the number. And in like seconds, I get it back and I paste it into my code, or I'd paste something, a piece of code in there, and I say, just make this more efficient. And it will actually handle all the testing of all the parameters and all the stuff that takes so much time to do, like validating parameters. It will do all the coding of that for you, and you just go on with your day. I'm not saying the code it spits out is always perfect, but it's good enough that you can look at it. And my functions are usually small enough that I could just look at it and see if it's right or not. And I can run it through a couple quick tests, and it's really good. So I totally agree with that. I've been using it a lot for that. And the consumer facing side of it is getting better. Like, they upgraded.
It's going to be a slow process though. Cause the tooling just for the programming stuff is getting there. Like what you want to do with the consumer side of things is so much more complicated than just like, oh, I'm changing this. I don't like how I do my variables in camel case. I want them to have little underscores now. Like you can go in and like, you can do that, and you do one and it'll like, oh, you want to do the rest of these that way? And it just goes and changes them all. It's really cool to do that.
Love it.
But that's not really related to what they're trying to do with like Apple summarizing your emails and all that stuff.
Yeah. And in Home Assistant, the LLM Vision plugin, they just released version 1.3, and they added features where it kind of it saves stuff to like its own little calendar, and you can ask it questions now based on historic things. So you can say things like, has a package arrived today for me? And it will actually go back through the calendar, analyze all the events, and say, yes, there was a delivery person at this time that brought a package to your front door, So it's not remembering it. It's just looking at the calendar of recorded events and answering what you needed. It's really cool what people are doing with this, right? So it is the future. It's just these big companies are just, sometimes I just shake my head at them.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things that we'll have to see how it plays out in the long run. But I think it's going to be very similar to crypto. We'll see a lot of things in the back end that have changed, or the adaptation of technologies and stuff like that. But in the end consumer and stuff like that, I don't think we're really going to see that much. We might see stuff in with like Alexa and stuff like that, but I don't think we're going to see anything that ingrained where people are actually going to notice a noticeable difference at all. So I think a lot of people are just putting the cart before the horse, and I don't think we're quite there yet. So
yeah, the chat, like the tool that is ChatGPT, where you're interacting in a chat format with this large language model thing, which is just a bunch of, it's like it's a random number generator. That's literally what it is, but it gives you the random numbers that you think it wants to give you. And like that tool it was a really good like kickoff. It really showed like, hey, this is something that this can do, and here's how we can interact with it. And like Gavin was saying here with the LLM Vision, I'm going through and looking through it right now. It's like they've got an example of something they have in here. It's like you can text it, has my package been delivered yet? It says, yeah, a delivery person's been carrying a package towards your house at I guess 8:14 p.m. It looks like your package has been delivered, and it sends you a person scene, a person in a reflective vest interacting with the mailbox while near a yellow delivery vehicle, clearly in Europe. This type of like all that stuff that goes in there, like what it's looking for, that tool. If this gets more developed as a tool, regardless of what large language model they're using or object detection model or anything like that, like if this gets better, and how you interact with it, or how it's able to determine when it needs to send you a notification, what you find important, that's when you're really going to notice the convenience of it. It's really just a convenience thing. Like it is with coding. Like it speeds up some things. It's just going to make life easier here and there. But yeah, I think the cart's way before the horse on everything that's gone in with the term AI behind it. It's just been a marketing move.
I think most people just want it to be a little smarter than now. They don't want like everything. Like, you want to be able to say, open the blinds,
but it's
open
not
the
smarter.
shades.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody, it appears to be smarter just because of the way they implemented ChatGPT. Like it has all this information and it can recall it almost instantly. That seems like it's a smart thing, but it's not. It's just randomly putting words together in an order that makes sense to you. And we take it like, oh, that's what it means. It's really,
we call speaker speakers smart speakers just because they talk to you, Seth. So I mean, the smart thing is way out the window at this point. So
we've given up on that.
And we call lights that you control with your smartphone smart lights. I mean, the term is basically gone at this point. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get what you mean. Like, this is not how you get it to be smarter. Like, the tools that you put on top of it, how you interact with the large language is not going to be any smarter than it is. That's done. I think, like, they may introduce like more stuff into it, or it may get like more knowledgeable or have more words to base its random number generator off of. But like, how you interact with it is going to feel smarter if it's doing stuff that is expected, right? Mm-hmm. If it's doing something that you can't ask this thing what's 1 + 1 and get the answer 2 all the time, right? Like, it doesn't know that 1 + 1 is 2. That's how dumb it is. But if it does come up and tell, hey, you've got a package at the front door, your high resolution camera let me read the tracking number off of it, and it's like this, it's for you or whatever. Like, that's going to be something. All that stuff is going to pop up in the tools that we develop around this stuff. So I think that's where we're headed. And unfortunately, like, I don't know why it's taken Amazon this long to do it. Maybe they just kind of went down the wrong path on whatever they were trying to do for making Alexa do things that just the LLM can't do. It sounds like it just kind of gets wordy, right? It says, one tester says the ongoing hallucinations aren't always wrong, just uncalled for, as if Alexa's just trying to show off its newfound prowess. It's like, well, there you go.
More by the ways.
Yeah, by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and read you this entire Wikipedia article. I know you didn't ask for it, but here we go. Sit back and relax.
Stop showing off, Alexa.
Yeah.
I just want it to be a little smarter where, you can ask it things like, are all the windows upstairs closed? And it will know what upstairs is. It will know,
right.
Be able to tell you, I could say blind, shades, covers, whatever, and it will know that I just want the drapes to close in this room, like, even there's certain things that they, incrementally can just make it smarter. They don't have to go all out, just make it better slowly over time. That's all we're looking for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But again, it's going to have to, whatever that works off of, it's going to have to work every time. Like, again, we're trying to be as reliable as like a manual light switch, right? It's really hard to do with a computer because the manual light switch always works when you turn it off because it just flat out disconnects the electricity going from the light. And like a computer, especially when you throw a random number generator that spits out words, is just going to get, that can trip up over itself and start hallucinating. That's not always going to give you the best results. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think they're in any rush because I've been using I guess they're not even saying Siri's smarter or whatever. Like, Siri is still just dumb as a rock, but it's got this pretty little like thing now. Like, if you press the button, it's like gives you this little border around your phone, and it's like, oh, they made that look better, but it's still dumb as a rock. Still doesn't do what you want it to do.
It is still dumb. Yeah.
That's the only change I like.
Yeah.
I do like that whole glowing screen effect. I'm like, ooh, this is nice.
Yeah. See, they got you.
You're still useless, but
they got you, TJ.
Yeah, well, I turned off the Apple Intelligence stuff like almost immediately though, because the summarizations for all the notifications was just very annoying. I was like, I know I could probably go through and edit this, but I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah,
I left mine on just to see what it does. I mean, I don't really care too much about notifications on it, but it does sometimes offer some pretty funny summaries, I guess, between notifications that may say the same thing, and it just kind of like makes up its own thing. Anyway, good old Siri. It'll never change, right? All right, let's move on here. It turns out people like big TVs. U.S. consumers, I don't know about Canada, but U.S. consumers are increasingly opting for extra large TVs, particularly those over 75 inches, driven by decreasing costs. According to this report, average price for a 98-inch TV has dropped below $3,000, with some models expected to fall under $2,000. This shift is part of a broad trend. Nearly 22% of households now owning TVs 60 inches or larger, nearly double that figure in the early 2020. And that kind of goes on the back. There's some Black Friday deal. I guess the LG, what is this? Was 65-inch LG OLED C4. It's gonna be $1,300 off. get you reducing its price down to $2,700. So lots of great deals coming around the corner for these large format, great looking TVs. Time to go back and buy a big TV, I guess.
They are crazy cheap for how big they are. I mean, Walmart, I think there's like a Walmart meme going around right now where there's like a 98-inch on TV, which is Walmart's brand, for $1,500. I mean, $1,500, guys. And obviously that's an economical TV, the budget TV, whatever you want to call it, but it's $1,500 for 98 inches. That's crazy talk.
Buy 3 of them and put them sideways and then combine the picture. And then you have what is that? 130-inch?
Yeah, projector. But even the expensive TVs have come down. I did a 98-inch Sony the other day, and I think my cost on it was like $5,000. And I remember when Samsung launched, like I would consider the first consumer 98-inch TV. Like 98-inch TVs probably existed before that, but like when I actually saw it in the store, it was Samsung, and at the time it was like $12,000. And then a year later, it was $5,000. And now you can go to Micro Center and buy that same 98-inch Samsung TV for $3,000 or less. So big TVs have gotten dirt cheap, and people don't mind buying a big TV. Just don't put it above a fireplace. If you're going to get a 98-inch TV, you cannot put it above a fireplace. I forbid you.
And just make sure you have the size room for it. Some people buy these huge TVs and put it in a really small room. It's just not good.
Yeah. If you're a guy listening, you can go too big.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I know it's hard to believe, but it is true.
There is such a thing as too big.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how big this TV would be. I guess it's 150-inch. Yeah, I think it's 150-inch. You put 3 of those TVs together. Sideways.
I'll get that for my backyard.
If you're gonna do that shenanigans, just buy a projector. I don't understand how anybody deals with the video wall if they're gonna watch the same thing, because I just can't deal with the lines. Like the lines would drive me nuts.
That's true. Another word of advice: if you're gonna be buying these big TVs, first measure that they can get down your stairs if they're going into the basement. Because you have to go around corners and stuff like that. Keep that in, consideration.
The first time I did a 98-inch TV, I was working in Florida still at the time, and nobody measured any of the places I had to go. And so we had to take this TV out of the box in the driveway to get it through like the correct areas and everything, and carry it up like 3 flights of stairs. All without a box.
Yeah, I'm double checking my math here, but I'm pretty sure you get 169 inches if you put 3 of these together. And you don't need a projector. This be so much more brighter,
so much more light bleed.
Come on, it's on TV. How bad can it be? $4,500 out the door.
I mean, that's really not that bad, honestly.
No,
it's so crazy.
Oh, too good. Well, I don't know. Somebody check my math. I should have just asked ChatGPT to do the math.
Well, and the thing too is like, so I got a 65-inch TV delivered like a month ago, and we got it delivered with Walmart delivery. So, I mean, it was like $450 for my groceries plus a 65-inch TV.
This guy's dragging your groceries up. And he's like, hey, I got a TV in the car. Can you help me get this out?
I watched him on the video. I was like, heck yeah, man. I gave him a good tip.
It's good. Well, I mean, it says here in this article here that the TVs 97 inches wide from January to September, prices are dropping from $6,662 to $3,113 from last year. So that's a pretty good. I mean, more than half price off.
You better get one before the tariffs kick in.
Yeah, they're just going to go up a little bit more, just a little bit more.
$2,500 TV.
Let's get 3 of them. Just stock up now because those long TVs can't last very long. All right, let's move on. Speaking of tariffs and price increases, Cedia is launching a new tiered membership structure for its integrators starting on January 1st, 2025 with 3 levels: starter, professional, and premium. Each tier is going to offer a progressively increasing benefits tailored to smart home professionals at different stages of their careers. Starter membership starting at $200 for single users includes access to introductory courses and free entry at the Cedia Expo. The professional tier costs $600 and offers additional benefits like access to market intelligence reports and promotional tours. And then premium membership at $1,000 a year provides unlimited online education content and priority listing in the Cedia Find a Smart Home Professional service. So there you go. If you're a CD member, I guess that's coming right around the corner, and it may be time to renew your dues for the year. And it looks like starting in January 1st, there may be. I think it's a little bit more even at the starter membership. I want to say it was like $100 or a little around that price.
Yeah, I was just looking at mine from 2022, and it was $125 for the Home Technology Integrator membership. So it has increased, but that's all right. Everything else has.
They got to pay. They're paying for the same overpriced eggs as we are. So there you go.
That's right.
TJ, are you going to renew your CDM membership for next year?
No. I am not. I gave it a shot for a year and then I didn't use it, so I'm not really sure if I need it. So I have canceled it. I don't think I need it.
I don't know. I do like what they're going for here is to get people access to those education content things. And I was listening to, I don't know if I want to say it was a CDA podcast, although I'm having a harder time listening to that one because all the little sound effects and stuff that go into it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. But one of them they were talking about some of the training courses they have coming up that are actually like real certifications and, how they're structuring them for like, the base levels of job to like project management up to like doing more stuff and how those tiers of those certifications go. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like I wish I had access to something like that when I was kind of going up through the ranks rather than just kind of on the job training and messing stuff up the entire time I was doing it. It would have been nice to at least have some reference material to point back to and say, oh yeah, that's how you were supposed to do this. But we'll see what happens. I think we're a member through work or whatever, and I'm pretty sure it is a whole different tier for that for businesses and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. So the 125 was actually a prorated amount because I guess when I joined up, the actual membership was $500, and that's a company membership. So I can see this being a price decrease mainly it's just like if it's just me that needs it, I just sign up as a single person. I only pay $200. So
yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's a good move. Because I always thought it was expensive, especially for like a single person. I mean, $500 a year for something that I still have to continuously pay for, right? Because I don't think CDA actually gives you any trainings for free. I think you still have to pay for all the trainings. And so as a single person, I have to pay $500 a year to join this organization. And then I have to pay hundreds of dollars for the trainings every time too. And that's kind of hard to swallow when you're a small business. So
yeah, I'm looking at the page now for their stuff. It's $199 per person. So yeah, not bad for getting in there and getting some of the introductory courses. But if you're a business, it's now $300. So instead of being $600, that's a pretty decent drop.
Yeah, and that's per person still. So if you have multiple people that need access to it, you'd have to pay $300 per person per company. But
no, it's per company, per the whole team, per the company, $299.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all then.
Yeah, you get access to some of those introductory training courses.
Pretty sure you only got limited people before too. I think you got to add like a couple people or something.
Yeah, I think for like $600, it looks pretty good too. Like you can use the logo on the website. You have multiple people in their training. You get access to the thing. I think that's what probably most companies would go for. And then early access to products and programs. Additional locations are free. Yeah, so I could see like certain companies may do just the $1,000 one. If they have like different branches of their office, that would make sense. Overall, a pretty good deal. And I really like what they're doing now that they don't have to like concentrate full time on the show. I really like what they're doing with the education side of things. I really do. I think they're starting to fire on more cylinders, and instead of being like the closed off ecosystem, they're really like branching out. Like even with the what was the RP stuff they're doing for video, audio, that all that stuff is more than just CD involved. Like there's more organizations involved. I think it benefits really everyone when they're able to do something like that. So good stuff there. Pay your dues. It's like an HOA for your business.
I feel like that's more accurate than maybe you think about.
All right. Well, it's kind of staying on the pro news side of things. I have to stay on the pro news side of things because nothing's happened in the pro news side for a long time. But now we have a couple of news items here on the pro side of things. So NICE has released new OS 8.9 update. It's now available through Management Cloud. for I guess your Elan system. I guess I'm going to call it the Elan Management Cloud because that's what it used to be called. It's called the Nice Management Cloud.
They still say Elan on their voice system, so it's okay.
Okay, there we go. It's Elan. If you're not familiar with Nice, the control system formerly known as Elan.
Not Savant, the one that's confused about battery backups, but the one that got a name change.
Right. This one. This update is going to enable comprehensive home control of media, climate, lighting, security, and supporting home management across all interfaces, including the HR40 remote. I think TJ, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure this is what they were showing off at CEDIA as their new fancy interface. The one where Control 4 was like, yeah, me too. We have an interface. And they like showed off something they mocked up. That's not going to be available till next year. But here, this is here. It did look pretty nice. I saw it briefly at the show.
Yeah. So I've played with this. I just installed a controller today, actually, and got the new software. So that was pretty nice.
That's nice.
I didn't use any of the new features though, because my client did not want to use an Apple TV, unfortunately. So I was like, no, the one time it could seamlessly integrate with Apple TV and use a NVIDIA Shield.
Well, just use the IR driver as I've come to learn.
Well, you can't use the IR driver with NVIDIA Shield because it doesn't have IR stuff.
It doesn't have IR, yeah.
You have to use some janky Zank remote thing from the Google Play Store you have to sideload, so with a chow mein driver, but at least that exists. No, actually, so Elan, Nice, whatever they're called, actually shipped their new processors too. So they had SC150 and an SC350 that replaced the 100 and the 300. They sent me this processor, guys, and I'm trying to use it. And part of the Elan system or the Nice system is that it's got pre-populated drivers, and so you go add a media source, and you select zone controller, and then you select the device you want to add, and it just populates 1,000 different devices there. And for some reason, my system wasn't populating all these names, and I was like, well, obviously it's my system. I just got this new computer over here. Maybe it's just my system. So I reinstalled the software. I ran a virtual machine, and I was like, nope, that's just what happens. And so I called tech support, and I was like, hey, tech support, this is what's going on. Can you help me with this? And after a little bit of troubleshooting, they found out they shipped me a beta controller and did not give me the software already on the controller. So they had to remote into the controller to update the software in order for me to even use it. So minus that, everything has gone smoothly with it, and it worked great. So props for that.
Nice.
Once you get the nice software.
You needed the nice software. Exactly. You probably shouldn't have shipped you the one that was on the pre-release version.
Well, and it was very concerning because the guy on the phone was like, how did you get this? And I was like, you guys sent it to me. What do you mean? How did I get it? And he's like, okay. Nobody told him. And I was like, well, nobody told me it was coming either. So
it's a SC150. What's the other one? What'd you say?
SC350.
350. I saw the 150. 150 looks small.
Yeah, the 150 is small. I think it would be comparable to the EA4 or whatever Control 4s is now.
Nice, right? Yeah, EA. I think they're on the Core now, but
Core 1.
I can't find anything about this. You really can't search for nice.
Dude, no, you cannot. That's why I hate the name, because it's every time you go to search for it, it's just nothing comes up because it's such a generic word.
Is it an SC300 or is that the old one?
No, that's the old one. It's SC350. It might not have anything on it.
Maybe not. Maybe you got the only one. That's why you had the random software loaded on it.
Well, mine's only 150. I'm not that rich.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Those look, the 300s are pretty pricey. Online.
Yeah, they're a beefy one.
All right. Well, I guess I have a line drawing of the SC350, and it looks exactly the same as the 300. So
yeah, I think it's literally just a rebadge with the name and everything. I don't. This is the tech specs on this on their press release is mentioning 4K, so probably literally just the name change and 4K output.
Oh yeah, you got a fancier processor and everything in there.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's nice.
Nice
news.
Nice when it works.
It writes itself, Gavin. I'm sorry.
You're just having you're just having too much fun with that, It was nice the first time, but now it's not so nice anymore.
Now it's not nice.
You're still doing it. We're still doing it.
Yeah.
Nice and neat.
All right. Well, no news week would be a news week without Sonos news. And of course, we have a little bit of Sonos here. So this is from over at Strategy. The headline is Sonos troubles mount. Poor sales suggest Ace may be a joker. Joker. Sonos is facing significant challenges as sales of its Ace premium headphones have drastically underperformed. Imagine that. Originally projected to generate $100 million in revenue, the Ace headphones have only achieved about 10% of their expected production, translating to a potential $10 million in revenue. The shortfall is a major setback for Sonos, a company with $1.6 billion in annual revenues, as it struggles to reverse declining sales. Disappointing performance is compounded by issues with their app, which is that, glitches and everything we've talked about. Interesting write-up. I like strategy stuff because they go through all the numbers and everything. But man, I was hoping to hit that 100 million and pulled off 10%. So
yeah, as somebody who cannot use his Sonos system for the fourth time this week, not really surprised. I'm not going to buy any more Sonos stuff at this point. I'm actually looking at getting rid of my Sonos stuff. So it's such a pain. I've never been more disappointed with the updates of a product in my lifetime. I've never had something that just
regressed.
Yeah, it's just shitification is such a true thing, and it's 100% what happened to Sonos.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not buying your $500 headphones. Sorry.
The biggest. All right. Well, I'll go over my Sonos. I do have an update on my Sonos system that I'll get to in my projects because it's the only project I did. But I really don't like the ads inside their thing. I'm going to control something and I open it up and there's hey, do you want to buy this new soundbar we have? I'm like, no, I just want to control the stuff that I have.
Have you noticed the ads always load before your stuff too?
Of course they do. It's priority.
You want to buy this new Sonos Arc Ultra as you cannot control anything on your Sonos stuff? No, I don't, Sonos. Read the room right now.
Oh, man. Well, turns out the headphones weren't a big hit. And
I feel like they completely missed the mark with the headphones. I mean, I think the app thing definitely hurt them in the long run. But I think if they would have just released headphones that you could use as Sonos speakers, then they probably wouldn't be having this problem. Because whenever somebody thought about Sonos headphones, they probably thought about using it as a Sonos speaker. Because that is what you can do with literally every Sonos product. And the fact that they released Bluetooth headphones that work with 2 of their speakers, or 3 of their speakers, I don't know, that is not the Sonos brand. And there's no point in owning these unless you're deeply, deeply in the Sonos ecosystem and you just want to use your headphones with your very expensive soundbar. Otherwise, you just buy headphones. Why wouldn't you just buy any other Bluetooth headphones and pair them to your Apple TV or something?
Yeah.
I was the perfect audience for this. I asked for this.
Yeah, I mean, for a year, we couldn't figure out.
Yeah,
we couldn't figure out what you were talking about. It's probably the weirdest request I think I've ever heard of. And then we got it, and you're like, "No, I don't want this.
Not what anybody wanted."
Well, apparently, according to the same article, Sonos is scrambling to build another step up headphone system, and I think we talked about this. Its code name is Roundhouse. No details of yet as what it's going to be, but
they're going to roundhouse kick Patrick Stewart out of the company.
They're trying to win you over, TJ. They're trying to win you over.
Keep trying, man.
Yeah.
It's just weird too. They failed with these very expensive headphones, and they're going to release more expensive headphones. And hypothetically, the rumors have been going around saying that they're going to drop these headphones, the price of these headphones, and release more expensive headphones. And I was like, well, how much more expensive are we talking about? Are we talking about the same price that we are right now and just bringing these ones down? Because that would make sense, right? If they brought these current headphones down to $250, they'd probably sell a lot more. And then if they
would you buy them at that price?
$250, I mean, probably not me, because I really don't need over-the-ear headphones when I'm out in the world, right? And that's I need Sonos headphones for when I'm at the house. I don't need giant over-the-ear headphones when I'm out and about. And that is what you're buying $500 headphones for, in my opinion.
Your house headphones. You have your car headphones, and you have your work headphones.
I got to put it with my gloves, my car gloves, my house gloves.
Yeah. Too good. All right. Well, that's the week's Sonos news. It turns out Ace, not so good.
It's not an ace.
Not an ace. Not an ace in the hole. So maybe Roundhouse will be. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. And the article also had at the end, I guess they talked about their app is getting up. It's almost to 90% of its former functionality. God. They're really proud of this.
Well, it's 6 months after they released the app. It's 90%.
I will quote the article here. It says, it's incredible to think it's taken a company months to restore 90% of the functionality of its own app. Yeah, it really is. Honestly, I'm glad they were able to do it as fast as they are, but wow, what it just, they could have held back a year on the app. They could have introduced their Bluetooth headphones and said, oh, look, we have Bluetooth headphones. They work exactly the same way that you think they're going to work. Not really. And everybody would have been like, oh, great, headphones. And then they could have made their app better next year when it was ready. Because that's when this one looks like it's going to be ready.
and it's funny because they're adding back features, but not the whole thing. For example, I think they added back the system information back in there, but they don't have all the same information that had in the old app. Like I used to go to the old app to see if it was actually registering as like 5.1 coming through my soundbar. It doesn't show that. They added back that section.
It doesn't show that there. That actually shows up.
Show that there.
Yeah, it's on the card itself where the audio is being played. I noticed that the other day.
Okay, so if they added it there, then
it's just in a different spot.
Yeah. But still, like, you have the system info, and I used to go in there and tell me, like, the codec or something like that. And I know, yes, okay, now it's getting 5.1 and it's dealing with that, right? But I wish they, just took the old app and just improved it slightly. You didn't need a whole new app. Didn't need it.
Yeah, a whole new app.
By the time they're done this new app, it will look like the old app again,
Yeah, it might.
Yeah.
Except with more ads that load instantly.
That's right.
As long as they have ads that don't load instantly.
Buy our $1,000 soundbar so you can use your $500 headphones.
Roundhouse. All right. All the links to topic we discussed tonight can be found on our show notes over at HomeTech.fm/504. All right. Nothing in the mailbag this week, but we do have a couple of follow-ups here. All right. So we talked about this. I think this is the previous pick of the week, but we got to talk about it again because this is amazing. The bidet review that we've all been hoping for, the bidet video review from Jimmy. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I think you have to go watch this. He actually does the review. He's standing in his bathroom in front of his toilet with the bidet on there, and you're looking at him like he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, is he? And then he looks at the camera and then he pulls his pants down and does the rest of the view with his pants down. It's amazing. Yeah, you have to go see it.
The way you're talking about it, I thought he was actually naked. He's not naked.
No spoilers, TJ.
Clickbait. I think we all had the same reaction when we saw this review. We all laughed at the same spot. It was very good review.
Yeah. It's too funny. The bidet seems like a very special bidet.
It does.
It's got a lot of stuff on it. It's seat temperature would be nice. It's got a turbo wash, an air dryer, pressure washer. It's got different nozzle positions you can set up. I don't know how much this thing was. I think he says at the end of his review how much it was. But like it sounds like the very expensive like the Toto toilets you can get for like $3,000-$4,000.
Yeah,
I don't think this is anywhere near that price.
Yeah. And as somebody who bought their first bidet last year, I think bidets are worth the investment. So if you don't have one, you should probably buy one. Because after we stopped renting, I was like, well, I don't want to destroy our plumbing with those flushable wipes that they have. We've been renting for so long, but I don't care about the landlord's sewer system. I was like, but my sewer system though, I don't want these wipes to mess up. So we got a bidet. It's not a fancy one though. It doesn't heat up or anything. So maybe I need to get this one.
Yeah, I have the regular old one. We got it too. I don't know. The bidets were like all the rage during COVID because why not?
Yeah.
And then yeah, like turns out you gotta have one. Like, what kind of monster are you?
I feel like every time I go to somebody's house and they have one, I'm like, ooh, so you're educated as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a primate just wiping your ass with paper, are you?
Yeah. So these are between two. I guess retail price on these are between $299 and $499.
Nice.
I mean, that's not bad. I think I paid like $75 for my regular one. So
yeah,
it's like a full toilet seat and everything replacement, but not heated or anything. So
no, I don't have a plug to plug one into. The warm air dryer, deodorizer, adjustable nozzle, all that stuff seems amazing. The heated seat too.
But you need electrical.
Just gotta get power.
Yeah, I don't have power there.
Just get one of these Anchor Solexes for $75 a month to run your bidet.
just put an Anchor battery next to the toilet.
If it gets covered in so much pee, you can just return it.
Just rent it.
Too good. Too good. Yeah, we found that you can rent one of the Anchor Solux for $75 a month. It seems like a pretty good idea if you have an electric bidet and no power for it. You can just set this next to your toilet and just plug it in. You'll have a heated seat whenever you need it.
Luxury is just a couple clicks away.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, check out this review from Jimmy. And yeah, it looks like I love this. Your price $4.99, retail price $12.58. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think that's how this works. You just made up that price. I have a pocket door behind my toilet, believe it or not, and so there's no way for me to retrofit power.
You have a pocket door behind your toilet?
I know.
How is that possible, Seth? Where does the water come from? The floor?
It shouldn't be possible. No, it comes from further over, like
from the ceiling.
No, down by the toilet.
It just jumps down.
It's further over.
It's just blue PEX pipe.
Yeah, the back of the pocket door, I guess. I don't know. It was a dumb design. It's a very tiny bathroom, and
oh man,
they probably thought they were very smart by being able to eliminate a door and put a toilet in this tiny little spot. So yeah,
hey, that's smart.
Yeah,
just change it out for a barn door.
There's no room. It wouldn't slide anywhere. It's a horrible bathroom, but we don't have no power. We have no power there, no ability to mount anything on the wall or anything like that. So it kind of sucks. And the shower's right next to that. So like if I put
you need wireless power.
Yeah, I just need like an induction. Can I get one of these, but with an induction seat that heats up when it charges?
The Qi charger.
Too good. All right. Well, check out the review. It's really good. We'll put a link to it in the show notes as well. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the weeks, or great ideas for the show, give us a shout. Email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, project updates. Well, we got a Home Assistant update first. So, Gavin, I have not updated in a while. So, as you're telling us what's going on with Home Assistant 2024-11, what should I expect when I go and update to this thing?
Something to break. It always happens.
I was say, should you expect anything though? Because you don't really use it. So,
geez, I gotta log in.
Yeah, do you remember your password?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm good. All right. So I'm on. Let's see. Here's the core update. So I've got to go. Oh, I'm only a month behind. So I did 10,
right.
And now I got to 11.
You're good.
There we go. It's
You're
not
good.
bad.
But 11 was released as of recording this, and not many groundbreaking changes. The sections layout view is now officially built in, like now supported. I think it was kind of like beta before, so that's nice. But they also added a precise mode for card sizes, so you can be very precise with your card sizes now. You can get more granular when you're aligning them and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Camera feeds now will use WebRTC if possible. So that allows for
that's nice.
Low latency camera feeds and stuff like that, but only when possible. So when you're streaming outside the house, I don't think it will fall back to the regular streams. But if you're like in the house and stuff, I think I noticed mine load like instantly, and they're just like a couple seconds behind time. So it's pretty good with that.
So it's doing the like re-encoding or whatever on the fly with in-home system. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep. However,
that's I mean, it's like the standard thing that most of like that's how Zoom works, right? So like the video, most of the video conferencing stuff has gone WebRTC. So it's good to see somebody using it.
Yep, I played with WebRTC plugins for Home Assistant before, and I never really had much luck with them, but now it's built in, so you don't even have to worry about that. So that's good.
Cool.
Right? They've also, I think it's mainly with add-on logs, but they added live logs now. Before you just have to keep hitting refresh.
Oh, yeah, that's a pain.
But now it scrolls nicely. So live logs is nice when you're troubleshooting things. And then when it comes to new integrations, some notable ones are the LG Think integration and the Husqvarna Automower BLE integration. So, if you're owner of any of those two products, they are now integrated.
Very nice.
Worthy update. I think we have one more update for December. I think they will do. I think they skipped January. Can't remember. But, yep, second last update for the year.
Nice. Well, not nice. It's Home Assistant. Nice is something else we talked about updating earlier, but
don't get anybody sued now.
Good job. Yeah, exactly. Oh, no.
Free publicity.
Yeah. I can't say I use my Home Assistant dashboard, but I've been using it as glue to put some different devices together. In this case, it was all Shelly devices. I guess we will consider this one of my projects I completed. We put out some like decorations for Christmas for various reasons. We're having to do it earlier this year than originally, I guess most people would do, but yeah, whatever. And we're putting them out, and I put up a bunch of lights and these little like things that plugged in and needed to turn on. And I had all these like Shelly outlet things to use. And one of my lights years ago, I put a Shelly relay on, right? And to turn on and off the relay, you run the power back through the light switch, and it goes into like a sensor on the Shelly relay module. And when you flip you can set that. So when you flip the switch, the light comes on. I think it's a Shelly dimmer. Actually, it's not a relay. But anyway, that is to say, like that input on the Shelly thing, like I don't think in the Shelly app or the software or whatever, you can actually set that to program to do anything else. Like I think you have to say it's standalone and that's it. And then what I had to do, and this is why I was like, oh yeah, the annoying logs in Home Assistant that you have to hit refresh on all the time. That really sucks, because I was in there having to look at the logs, and then I press a button and have to wait, and then finally it updates, like finally it updates. But no, if it's always updating, that'd be great, because then I would have found how this little silly sensor thing worked on the Shelly or whatever it was called. It's some random entity thing that I had to figure out because I didn't know what I was looking at. But once I found what was moving, you find what was moving in there. You find a little thing that's turning on and off. I was like, I renamed it. I said, this is what's turning on and off. And I made my automation off of that. And I basically rewired my house. It doesn't turn the light on and on. I guess it could turn the light on if I wanted to, but what it does is when you flip that switch, it turns on all the Christmas lights now. So when you walk in the door, there's like one switch that turns on all the Christmas lights in the whole house. And that's really fun. So I was glad to do that and get that all wrapped up and done. So there we go. That was my probably took way too long to do in Home Assistant.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. The final outcome of that whole explanation, I was like, this is like overkill.
That's all right.
But we appreciate it.
What Seth project isn't overkill?
Yeah, right. It was one switch to turn on a bunch of other devices. I mean, I think that should have been easier to do, honestly, but like I should have been able to like check off what I wanted to have happen, but you have to go into every one of the devices and you have to go scroll down and you got to turn device on and, okay, whatever. I did all that. It is now an automation and it's all set up, and there's probably another 10 ways I could have done it, honestly. But it's all done and it works and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then the other thing I did is I went to my Sonos thing the other night, and we're watching like a movie. My wife is like, why doesn't this sound good? I'm like, it's like kind of like look off to the side. She said, what'd you do? And I was like, I reset everything because you said it wasn't working the other day, and now this works, but that doesn't work. This sub doesn't work. She's like, can you fix that? And so I started poking around on the Sonos app, and it's like, hey, it's time to update your sub here. Or your app. And I updated the app, and then the sub needed to update. And then after the sub and the app updated, then I was finally able to add the sub back onto my soundbar. And so far, guys, I think everything's working now after this last update. So yay for 90%. 90% of the way there. I'm almost back to 100% in the Sonos household that could.
Well, I don't want to rain on your parade, but enjoy it while you can, Seth.
It's only going to be so much longer. It's been a good system so far, mostly good system. And now everything shows up inside the app. I didn't do anything different. All I did was update the app. It updated the subwoofer and it paired correctly. This comes a week and a half after I was originally trying to do it and getting frustrated and not being able to do it. It turns out it was probably just a bug in their setup process. So
good job.
Anyway, that's all I got. Those are my projects. I have been working on some other stuff, but I can't talk about it right now. It's super secret. I'm not going to talk about it.
Super secret.
I don't have the right parts. I keep buying the wrong thing. It's a learning process, right? There's free returns on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
TJ, what you've been up to?
Well, I have a couple small projects going on. I'm in the opposite camp as Seth right now, and I really hate Sonos. Because my Sonos just continues to not work randomly. We'll go through periods of time where the Sonos will work fine for 2 days, and then it just doesn't work. And now my current issue is that it just doesn't like my TV. I have a Sonos Arc hooked up to my TV. It's an LG C3. It hasn't been updated as far as I know. This time, or just this week alone, I've had to like reboot the Sonos Arc like 4 times. And just do a bunch of stuff. And honestly, guys, I'm just tired of it. I really like Sonos, and I've already spent all this money on it, but I think at this point, I'm just going to sell it. I'm just going to get out of Sonos. I'm going to go talk to our friend Don over at Vessel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to switch to something else because I've never owned a product that I've spent so much money on that just like continuously fails me. It's just, I don't know. I have thousands of dollars spent in Sonos, guys. And it just depends on the time of day and the week if I can actually use it.
Yeah, I think you're much more sensitive to the sunk costs than I am, because I'm just like, I bought all this stuff. I'm not going to throw it away.
Well, I'm definitely not going to throw it away. I'm going to sell it. And luckily for me, I've got a lot of it at dealer cost or at 30% off or 50% off. So like my Sonos Arc, I did not pay full price for. I got that for half off. So most of the stuff I've gotten for a decent.
Oh, okay. I'm offering you half the price for it now. Then.
Yeah, you can find a tree, Gavin. But it's so aggravating, and maybe I'll change my mind in a week or two. Who knows? But I'm gonna start exploring the options because I'm tired of dealing with it. I use my system very simply. I just want my TV audio to go everywhere. I don't even listen to music or like radio or podcasts or anything. I literally just use Sonos to send my TV audio to every room.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I need.
So this Arc you're getting rid of, I'll pay shipping.
Yeah,
sure, and I offer you half price. It's used. I mean, come on, half price is good. Like, come on.
I'm surprised it's worth anything, to be honest. So,
okay.
you keep talking it down. It's like, well, I heard you on your podcast.
Now that you say that, 40% of the cost.
I feel like there's something wrong with it.
I'll sell it to you for half off if you buy all my other speakers.
Oh, I don't want those.
I got a ton of speakers. But in other joyful news, Railink sent me their floodlight PoE camera, and I know Gavin's been eyeballing this, so I had to get one, of course. But this is 100% PoE, so you literally just hook an Ethernet line to it. It's got a DC port as well, so if you don't have PoE, you can hook up your Ethernet and your power cable like nobody ever would, and you can power it that way. Super easy to install. The mounting bracket is the worst thing in the world. If you don't like the Samsung art frame TVs where it's like 2 separate brackets and you have to like line them up exactly, you're not going to like this one either, because it's literally just like a simple piece of like metal. But if you have like vinyl siding or any kind of like, wall that's not even, maybe you have stone or maybe you have stone walls. Maybe you have some kind of shiplap. I don't know. Maybe you have some weird walls like everybody else does. It's hard to get that camera onto the mount. And I'll put some pictures in the Slack group here so we can see it. But the mounting hardware was the worst part of it. Mounting it was not fun. I had to like remount it like 4 different times to get it correct. Everything else about the camera has been fantastic though. It's very easy to use with the Railink app. It is a 180-degree view. So like I have mine in the driveway. And the reason I wanted this one specifically is because we do not have a light in the driveway. I'm relying on like a Ring solar powered light currently. And it's been fine. We've had it in there for a year. I haven't had any problems with it or anything. But I do have to recharge it like once or twice a year. And I already had a Cat 6 line to the driveway for my other camera. And so I basically replaced 2 cameras with this one floodlight camera, and I get the benefit of having an actual floodlight. And so for $180, I think this is a great purchase, guys. If you're looking for an actual floodlight and you want to tie it into your camera system, because this does support OnVIF and RTSP as well. And so I was able to pull it into Home Assistant, and I was able to pull it into Protect without any issues. So fantastic camera, less than $200. You basically get 2 cameras in one. The night vision is good when the light is on. It does not have color night vision, but when it does have ambient light, it is color. So that is a little bit disappointing, but for $200, you can't really argue with that.
No Starlight, no. After seeing your Starlight cameras, I'm kind of spoiled, and that's what is like a must for me going forward.
Oh yeah.
But I was looking at these, and now the mount. It's interesting that you mentioned the mount, because I was looking at the hardwired Wi-Fi version of it, right? Because I have a junction box out there that my current floodlight's on, but I don't think this mount fits a standard junction box, does it?
So the PoE one, no. And that was my other complaint. I don't know how it compares to the other one. I'm assuming if you're using the Wi-Fi one, it probably is like a normal junction box. Because is it mains powered or no?
It's mains powered, but the junction box, it looked like they had their own type of junction box that you had to buy, and it's not a regular junction box. I was just like, yeah, it didn't look nice, right? Like,
yeah, that part's weird. This would not fit over a normal junction box, which was one of my complaints as well, because if you already had like a pre-wired Ethernet spot or something, like this would just go over it, which is not the end of the world, but I feel like they could have made it just fit over a junction box for sure.
well, I don't want one now. It has no night vision starlight camera thing.
Just noticed there's a pretty big update for, maybe on the early access channel on the Protect line of things. It's going up to 5.1 something. It was on 5.0 for a while.
If they bring in on-VIF events, that will be huge.
Yeah, I was looking through the release notes. It did not look like they were doing that.
That's going to be that hardware piece. They're supposedly bringing out the AI key or whatever. You'll get on-VIF events, but you need to buy hardware.
Which in the end is kind of silly. I don't know. I'm still having issues with keeping the camera streams inside Protect from the UniView stuff right now. It's kind of like hit or miss. I'm hoping we'll see what happens after this update. It hasn't been working for very long, and then every time I look down at the little picture, and it's got like it's a different view. Like my car's parked backwards, and like the lights are on. It's like maybe an image from a week ago or something. I don't know. And if I click on it, it shows the live view, but then it starts flickering and then kind of goes away. I don't know. They're still having strange issues with this thing. So
it's still early.
Yeah. I'm willing to let them, like, this is awesome that we can actually add these cameras in to the system. I'm sure all the video, and I haven't even looked on their website. I wish they would like publish like, hey, this is the video we know our system works really well with. Like, these are the settings, and I can go like maybe get closer to those settings inside of my camera. But yeah, I don't know. They haven't released that as far as I know. They have I don't know what their early release like there's no like NDA for their stuff anymore. So it looks like they're adding support for NFC and fingerprint on the G4 Doorbell Pro. I don't know how long I don't remember the G4 Doorbell Pro having a fingerprint reader, but maybe it did. That's the one I have, right? Yeah. So that's something else I came across today. The video with the doorbell fingerprint reader. Where's the fingerprint reader on the doorbell?
It's hidden.
At the bottom? Is that what that little thing is?
I feel like you need access to access it.
Interesting. Well, there are some bug fixes. There are some bug fixes for playback speed control for third-party cameras, detection box flickers during detections. Yeah, that was happening for me too on their cameras. It looks like they've been working on it. So good job. Looks like there's a bunch of camera firmware updates too. So
what you got going on, Gavin?
Oh, life, but other than that, I got my hands on, I've been waiting for this for a while, a Tuya Zigbee human presence detector, but it's a battery powered millimeter wave, right?
Ooh.
So I'm a big fan of millimeter wave, stuff. This one's actually a battery powered one. And what they do is they actually have both millimeter wave and the PIR sensor. So the PIR will pick up the motion initially, and then the millimeter wave kicks in to determine, the motion's still occurring, right? So it kind of works together to save battery. I've had it running for about a week. So far, so good. It works pretty well. It has a lot of configuration for you can configure distances and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. But it runs on 2 AA batteries, which is not bad, actually. I like that it's just standard batteries, right? But the one complaint I've seen about it is that, the batteries may only last 6 months or so. So I will see how long this lasts, right? Every 6 months replacing the batteries might not be a bad thing if I only have one, but I am measure that out and see. But I'm waiting for this technology to get better. Millimeter wave sensors, battery powered, I'm just a fan of that. Have you guys done anything with millimeter wave sensors yet?
I just have the FP2 sensors. That's it.
Yeah, I have a car one, and I have these like the I forget what these are called.
Everything one presence sensors, or yeah.
I got 2 of these. I do want to do something with them. I just haven't yet. And I saw that he had an update on his firmware. I think you talked about it maybe a couple weeks, or you told me about it a couple weeks ago, where he kind of had like the zones thing where he had a little drawing that you could draw just like the car does.
It's a Home Assistant add-on you can actually install, and then you could draw out your zones and stuff. It's not as nice as the Clara one, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, and really that's all I need, because I'm just using it to set in my daughter's room to make sure that she's still in bed. And there's actually two things that she's doing now. We have a little light next to her bed. She likes to turn it on and read her books or whatever. And so like we don't really know that she's got that light on. I know she's totally a little 7-year-old rebel. And yeah, so we won't really know that she's doing anything in there. And then we'll look up and like, we'll walk back there and it's like, why is the light on? You go in there and she's like playing with toys on the floor or whatever. So yeah, I need to get those events better into like a Home Assistant would be great because it could talk out to the other devices. Yep. Maybe they'll turn on and off the Christmas lights a bunch of times, like, oh my gosh, she gets out of bed or she turns the light. I think, doesn't the everything sensor thing have a light detector thing on it? I think it does.
Yeah, or you could just put like a switch on the light that measures current. So if she turns it on, the current.
It's a little like LED thing, but it's almost battery powered, I would say. Yeah, the car has a light detector on it. It has a lux meter on it. So you can, if I get those variables into Home Assistant, I still haven't done that either. So it's just a matter of like getting the stuff into Home Assistant and then, like I said, using that to glue it into other products. Does a real good job of that.
All right. I'll give her a heads up that this is coming and how to get around it.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, by the time you hear this show, I would have been on the Home Gadget Geeks podcast already. So make sure you go check that episode out where we talk more Home Assistant stuff. And then in the coming week, I'm supposed to be on the Home Assistant podcast.
What?
Yes.
There's a Home Assistant podcast?
Oh, there's a Home Assistant podcast. You guys don't listen to it?
I don't think I'm banned from that one yet.
You guys don't listen to that podcast?
I didn't know it existed, but now I will. They would get at least.
I'll give it a shot with you on there, Gavin. But to be honest, a Home Assistant podcast sounds like I might fall asleep.
No, it's actually pretty good. They when they have guests like me, people talk about some really interesting stuff, right? And they get people that take Home Assistant and do way more than you thought you could ever do with it sometimes, right? So, it's really good. When they cover the new releases of Home Assistant, they go really in depth with a lot of stuff. So if you're really interested in that, those ones sometimes because they have to fill some time with, like certain topics that aren't really that interesting, but the guests are always great on that show. So it's a good podcast. So if you're a Home Assistant fan, this is the podcast to listen to, if anything.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Did you just hear about it when they asked you to come on, or
no? I've been listening to them for a while. I've been probably for a year or two now, or since I first started Home Assistant. I think I've been a fan of theirs.
All right, I have to give them a look.
All right.
Yep, I just added it, so it'll be in the rotation.
Excellent. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for me for this week.
Nice. Oh, not nice. I mean, that's another thing.
Dad jokes.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap up this week. We do want to give you a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every single pledge gets you an invite over to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you can gather with other supporters of the show and talk about watching videos with Jimmy sitting on the toilet reviewing bidets, because that's what we're here for.
We are the destination to go to for poop talk and home automation.
Yeah.
So we had the automated flusher with the SwitchBot thing. Yep. We have the app controlled bidet. Cool. Yep. I mean, we have the lockdown on poop talk. So
cat boxes.
Yeah, the automated poop for the cat. The
LLM vision to detect pooping dogs on the lawn. We talked about that. Yeah.
We really are the leading source
for crap,
for all poo automation.
All right, I'm going to keep going now. If that interests you, just HomeTech.fm/support. If you want to help out, can't support, and you don't want to go to the poop talk, you can we just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up another week here on HomeTech. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Till next time. Keep getting those dang ads.
Is it 503 or 504?
It's 504.
Yeah, you said
demand a
503 though.
Yeah, I demand a recount.
Yeah, you said 503 originally.
I did. Then I went back and said 504, and I'll just edit it together, and no one will be the wiser except you guys.
All right.
Okay.
That's how it works. I'll just make AI say it.